Good morning, everyone, and depending on where you're joining us from today, good morning or early morning, or late afternoon if you're coming from London. And I'll go right to the most important thing, which is my green tongue and teeth and lips right now, courtesy of just a little chlorophyll water that I felt that I needed some alkaline forming support today. So just noting that right off the bat. And you'll also note that I do have a guest with me here today, but she is on the line, not on video. And the primary reason for that is we're going to actually dive through all the resources that she has. So when we get into that part, I will show it to you on the screen, and we'll be able to take everybody to, and if you want to screen along with us, you can go to Uplift Food there as well. Just a reminder, if you are providing any questions for us, because we are in a private group, I didn't ask all of you to submit your email approval to eCam. So when your comments pop up, I don't get your name with that. I just see a bubble. So if you would like me to know your name, first of all, I'd love to know your name and know who's joining. So thank you. Thank you, Stacy, right off the bat. And so if you are asking a question, just note that because some of you I know very well, and I would want to put some context maybe even to the question, and that would be helpful. And then just two reminders, maybe three. It is October 1, which means it's non-GMO month, which means there is just a ton of confusing information that's going to be barreling at our clients. And maybe at ourselves. So our non-GMO guide, one of my favorites, I was just updating that, working with a couple of different experts this August on glyphosate. So that's going to be really helpful to kind of understand. I mean, the news isn't news, that we just don't have enough information for all of our patients' different issues, health stages, goals, to be comfortable with a lot of this stuff. So this talks to you about how you can have an informed discussion and make some personalized decisions. So that's number one. Number two, on October 16th, we will begin the 30-day digestive tune-up, and that is if you own the Shop of Tools, then you are eligible to do that for free, or to have your clients do it for free. You can do it along with them. And if you do not have the Shop of Tools, you will want to get the package of the Gut Instinct package over at the shop. That's the only thing that you have to do this. And the reason to do it as a practitioner is once you've gone through it for 30 days, then this is something we offer to you to white label and to run, and it would be a great thing to do in the new year. So we will offer that part. If you have any questions, I am Ashley at thebetternutritionprogram.com. Speaking of questions, speaking of misinformation, speaking of confusion, prebiotics, we're so excited. It's like, I remember I felt this way 15 years ago when I was getting regular, requests for interviews about probiotics, and in particular about bifidobacteria and how we could talk about it and introduce it. And we all know what has happened to probiotics. Well, we can only hope that the momentum is as strong and impactful because as we're going to hear from our expert, there is just so much about better nutrition as it relates to prebiotics and good mood food, as we'll see at Uplift Food momentarily. But with any trend, when anything comes out and is, super trendy, super popular, even if there is tremendous value for that, unfortunately, we also see a lot of headlines, confusion, misinformation, and as I can recently attest to at Expo West, a lot of really crappy products that no matter what their prebiotic content is, they could not help you actually improve your health. It would be like cleaning the floor with dirty shoes, not going to get you very far. So when I was confused and wanting to figure out what's new, what's better, what do we really want to talk to our patients about and how to do that in an informed way, I turned to Better Nutrition expert Kara Landau. I was introduced to her by a dear friend of mine, and Kara has been at work really diving deep into prebiotics for quite a long time. I think many of you know her, but if you don't, I'm really excited to introduce you to her. And just to remember, a better nutrition expert is somebody who is both science and practice-based. So what we're going to hear from Kara is certainly some information about the science and why this is so good for us, but also information about what we can do in our practice. And before I really let her talk, what I am also going to say is I did a very thorough interview with her. She was awesome about a year ago. It's over on YouTube. And what I want to do is invite you, and I'll post that in the group when we finish. I invite you to watch that, because we're not going to use the time today to really dive into all the science and those pieces around prebiotics. What we want to talk about today are what are the resources, whether it's menus, guides, information that is available for you, so that Kara can share with you that, and also some business growth opportunities by way of her affiliate program, so that you can really be a leader in communicating better prebiotic nutrition. So now, Kara, I would love for you to, I think a great way to start, just to give everybody a little bit of a background, would be to explain who you are and what led you to start Uplift Foods. And I'm just going to move us over so that we can see the Uplift screen, website, excuse me. Yeah.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. So I'm Kara Landau. I'm an Australian registered dietitian. In Australia, we're called accredited practicing dietitians, technically, and I'm based over here in America in New York. So I am currently the nutrition advisor and media representative for the Global Prebiotic Association, and that probably comes from years of delving deep into prebiotics and into resistant starches, a particular type of prebiotic, and really wanting to understand how we can take a preventative approach to looking after our gut health rather than solely supplementing with probiotics, which have been all the rage. And with that, I discovered quite a lot of science around the connection between the gut and the brain, and I wrote a book about that about 7 years ago now. And it was from that research that I discovered this science around when you nourish your gut, you have healthy gut bacteria. From having diverse bacteria, you're able to basically support your mental health. And that was why I ended up years later launching this brand, Uplift Food, which is all focused around the connection between nourishing your gut with prebiotic-rich foods to support your mental well-being and be the happiest version of yourself.
There's so many pieces to that, but I think we can start with the fact that we're all in it to help our patients be the happiest versions of themselves. So I love that part.
Yeah.
So let's start with and just to give you, Kara, because I know you're via audio, so I am on the homepage of Uplift Food.
Yep.
So why don't we start with what Uplift Food is currently? Well, actually, before I start there, I want to talk about this whole notion of prebiotics. And I think one of the key things that we want to hone in on, what is the best way to succinctly or effectively communicate about prebiotics with our clients in an era where everybody, I think at this point, kind of kind of has heard the word probiotics. And they've also heard about fiber, but then things get pretty confusing. So how do you, let's just start very 101. How do you introduce that?
So I would always introduce to people that the simplest way, although it doesn't cover all the benefits that prebiotics can provide, is that prebiotics are the fuel for the probiotics in order for them to be able to work their magic and us reap all these benefits that people associate with having good gut health. There are a number of other benefits that prebiotics bring that are not just about fueling the probiotics. They are able to help with nutrient absorption. They're able to help with reducing inflammation in the body. They're able to help with managing our blood sugar levels and helping our cells be more responsive to insulin. And I could probably go on and I do for a long time. But I think that when it comes to consumers and trying to just really simplify it down, it's by showing that the probiotics, just like we need food to thrive, the probiotics need their own source of fuel, and that is what the prebiotics are. And if you want to keep telling, your clients that it's going to be beneficial to have good gut health, well, then we need to make sure that in order to reap all those benefits, the probiotics are receiving the energy that they need from the prebiotics.
Great. And I had a question come in around, I think it's okay to take it at this time. So if it's not, we want to get there, we'll pop over to it. But So, like when we know there's condition specific things, like when you have had antibiotics, we want to take in probiotics. But we also, as you were mentioning, we want to make sure that we're always getting in probiotics. Are there any specific conditions where prebiotics are more indicated, or part of that treatment protocol? Or are you saying that they are foundational, in the way that we think about we think about vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, those kinds of things?
Yeah, I always come from the approach of, using your term, them being foundational. I think they are beneficial for all of us. I think, if anything, it's just when people are working through something like SIBO, or they've had to go through they've got some digestive issues that they need to work through. They might have to work through their medications and work with their practitioner before they start to bring in prebiotics, but then they should be kept in terms of keeping, growing the strength of your gut.
Right. So let's list off some prebiotic foods as a starting point, and then we're going to dive into your website from there.
Sure. So the foods that are very rich in prebiotics are a little bit random in that they're not really foods that typically get eaten on a daily basis, such as dandelion greens and chicory root, Jerusalem artichokes. The more commonly eaten foods that have far less prebiotics are things like asparagus and onions and garlic. You then also have prebiotics in the form of resistant starch, which I feel are found in foods that people probably consume slightly more. And that would be if you cook and cool a potato, as an example, you need to make sure you cool it. But that cooling effect of the potato, you can reheat it after. That has a resistant starch in it, and that is a very valuable prebiotic. When you have uncooked oats, so if you make overnight oats or you ground down some oats and use that inside, a bliss ball or an energy ball, that would have a prebiotic benefit as well. And then some of my favorite prebiotic ingredients are things like green banana flour. So most people don't eat unripe bananas, but you can get it in a flour form, and that is a very valuable source of resistant starch, as well as things like lupin flour or lupini beans you sometimes find in America, and even tiger nuts. So I don't know if people here have seen tiger nuts used inside as a snack or as grounded down and used inside a smoothie. That's also a prebiotic.
I get mine from Gemini. I worked with them on their horchata when they were first launching it, but now they have the flour, et cetera, and I love them. They're on like Thrive Market, et cetera, so that's fun. Yeah.
Probably just like one little note to make to people is that because inside tiger nuts, similar to green banana flour, the type of prebiotic is a resistant starch, and in particular it's called a resistant starch type 2. I explain all of this in my ebooks for anyone who wants more depth on that, but the type of resistant starch is very sensitive to heat. So you often see people try to promote, they make tiger nut cookies, and they say they're gut healthy cookies, and they've baked these cookies for way too long to be able to justify that they probably have a prebiotic benefit. Or when they bake, people bake a slice, you see a lot of green banana flour companies promoting their flour to use in baked goods and saying that they have this prebiotic in them. Well, they have the prebiotic when they're raw, and potentially some science has shown that if you encapsulate it in enough fats, so, if the cookie was baked for a minute or two with a high fat content, you might be able to protect some of the prebiotics. But, when you're baking a muffin or a cake with the green banana flour for an extended period of time, as an example, you are likely going to lose those benefits.
That's awesome to know. And why exactly, this is exactly why, A, I have you here, and B, we're going to dive into your website. I had one question that came up, sweet potato and regular potato, and then also, do you have to eat the skin for the...
Okay.
Yeah.
So regular potatoes are able to develop more resistant starch. They're known as a greater source of resistant starch than sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes obviously have other nutrients that they are better, that they're stronger in than the other potatoes. So, but from a gut health perspective, I would be recommending roasted and then cooled regular potatoes. And no, you do get fiber obviously from the skin, but in terms of the resistant starch that I'm discussing and the prebiotics, that's not the skin, that's the actual flesh inside the potato.
Amazing. So if you're like me and already like, oh, I just wish there was somewhere that I could go to get all of this information and have all this information for my clients and then know how to do it deliciously easy, and you're just putting that out to the universe, we've answered, actually, Kara has answered your request from the universe. So we're now, you'll see, I've had up on the screen for a while, upliftfood.com, and this is blatant promotion of what I believe to be the better nutrition content that we should be using, for working with our patients and also for ourselves. So what I thought we would do is have Kara walk us through the different resources that she has available for us. So Kara, I'm gonna be your Vanna as you tell me where you would like to go on the website. We're just having fun seeing all the people that are purchasing in the lower left-hand corner, which is great. And looking at the delicious food. So where would you like to start?
Well, we don't need to click totally into it, but I just would point out on the homepage where it says food and mood, for anyone who's wanting to learn the overview of the connection between food and mood, and in particular gut health and mood, and then hear from some other experts in the field, so it's not solely coming from me. I think that clicking through those few links there and learning from other, as I say, scientific experts or registered dietitians is interesting. But then over in the shop is where I have placed a lot of the resources, and I suppose if it comes to prebiotics specifically, I developed an ebook called the Prebiotic Manual, and then if you want the connection between food and gut health and mood, there's this Good Mood Food Guide. So I have this practitioner bundle which gives you both of them, which I found a lot of practitioners have told me they have found very valuable. There's tools in there. It gives you some scientific reference papers if you'd like to look deeper into it. And so perhaps we could, if you want to click in there, the Silver Star Good Mood Food Guide practitioner.
I'm just excited because somebody from Columbus, Ohio just purchased. If you're a dietitian in Columbus, Ohio and you're watching and you just purchased, that's great. Maybe it's not a dietitian, but kind of fun as I sit here in Columbus, Ohio. Okay, I just clicked on the silver bundle, and I apologize, we're slow on the Wi-Fi. I see the cart. It popped into my cart. And we have great information from Alyssa Rumsey, one of our favorites. But I'm not seeing anything show up other than the cart. So I might, and that just may be my back to your bundle. Okay. So anyway, if you, for when people can go in there, you can see all the contents of the book are explained. I'm not someone who sort of yabbers away. Like, I really want to get to the point very quickly so that the practitioner understands what they need to know and how they can utilize that information. So, like in the prebiotic manual, it's 35 pages. It's very strategic what you have in there. We go into different, details about prebiotics, the different types of prebiotics, different levels of resistant starch or prebiotic fibers inside different foods, and there's even sort of like a meal plan calculator for resistant starch, which you can use, or you could use with a client as well, as sort of an example. So, and that was a question that popped up, so I'll ask it now. Some of you guys sent me questions ahead of time. I always highly recommend that in case for some reason you can't join us live. You'll get your question answered. So Anna, I'm not sure, you had asked about a daily dose of prebiotic. Kara, how do we set general guidelines for how much? And then I assume your calculator is what's helping us reach that goal.
Right. So when it comes, I give a lot of information about this inside the prebiotic manual, and
Brilliant.
And I won't be able to go through everything right now. But basically, like for something like resistant starch, there have been from a few different scientific groups around the world, there's been advice to have around 20 grams of resistant starch per day. But then when it comes to prebiotics as a whole, which doesn't necessarily, the guides around prebiotics, they're more around the levels of particular types of prebiotics and how much of them you need in order to have a prebiotic benefit. So, some prebiotics are like inside I've developed a product called the Daily Uplifter. It's a natural powdered supplement that people can add to all different sorts of dishes or just have, in a smoothie or something. And I included a type of prebiotic called a xylo-oligosaccharide.
And just for everyone watching, I have it open and you're seeing the ingredients. So this is exactly what she's talking about. Yep.
Thank you, Ashley. So I guess what all I'm getting at here is that the xylo-oligosaccharide prebiotic, and the particular version of that I have selected to include in the Daily Uplifter, it was, proven that you need only 1 gram in order to have that beneficial, what we call bifidogenic effect, so to cause those bifidobacteria to flourish, as opposed to something like, you will often see inulin or soluble prebiotic fiber inside lots of food products, and sometimes that's coming from a type that, depending on the type, inulin, sometimes you need 5 to 10 grams per day to have benefit, and then there's other types that might be written on a label as just soluble fiber or soluble prebiotic fiber, and that one, you might need up at 30 grams per day. So it really does vary in terms of what someone would need to have a prebiotic benefit depending on the type, and then you obviously have to work with the particular patient or client on what type of prebiotic can they tolerate, because people who have sensitive digestive systems might not be able to tolerate as well some of the soluble fibers because they might cause them to bloat, as an example, but they might fully be able to tolerate that 1 gram of the ZOS, or they might be able to really do very well with the resistant starch, which is what I know from me and a lot of my peers in Australia who have been very across this have often found that resistant starch was a very beneficial prebiotic to use because it is very well tolerated.
Mm-hmm. And here you have the blend of the prebiotic and the probiotic, which was a question that somebody had asked around, do I need to recommend that, especially if using the Daily Uplifter or if using a supplement, do prebiotics and probiotics have to be taken at the same time? It's sort of that old rice and beans conversation, I think.
I don't believe they need to be taken at the same time. Sometimes what you find is that by adding the prebiotic with a probiotic, it actually can help. It can just basically help the probiotic make its way to your gut. Sometimes probiotics don't even get to where they need to go because of the acidity of our gut and our digestive system. But we already have so many probiotics inside of us. So, the prebiotics, they're going to get there and they're going to fuel everything you already have inside you. So you don't necessarily need that probiotic supplement as well alongside it. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I think it's great. I'm just loving the ingredients. And I have personal experience with my clients where, people can be very resistant, I'll use the word, to starting with fiber and prebiotics, especially if they've had a history of bloating and that piece. And so I think really being able to have a product that you can introduce and then introduce with foods. So what I wanted to do, Kara, just being conscious of time, we've got about 5 more minutes. I would love to move into also you've got just amazing recipes and sort of how to actually make this happen in the day. So unless there's anything else that you wanted to highlight on here, I think I've shown the different part, and I highly recommend this. What I want to do is look at the recipes and then talk a little bit about the affiliate program.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I would add is that when it comes to prebiotics, you want, just like with probiotics, you want diversity. With prebiotics, you want more than one type. So rather than just thinking, oh, well, I got that in that one bar or in that one powder that only had one type of prebiotic, I think it's important to think about it. You've got lots of different probiotics in your gut, and many of them require different sources of fuel, and therefore by having a range of prebiotic ingredients, either in supplement and or food form, I think that would be a good way to go.
Great. And I
but we can move into the recipes.
Yeah, I lied on the recipes because I scrolled to the bottom here and saw you're join the Uplifters. And then I realized on page number 2 of the shop, we have something very exciting we should talk about. So just because Vanna wants to keep this easy on herself, tell us what joining the Uplifters is. And then we'll go to page number 2 and with your introduction, then we'll go to recipes and make sure we chat affiliate.
So did you want me to talk about join the Uplifters?
Yes.
Or about, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I created this just so that, look, my goal is to spread the message about the importance of prebiotics and to create, as you can see, resources and food products and supplements that help make it easier for people to get prebiotics into their day. So I thought that by creating an uplifter sort of involvement that we can all spread that together, that would be very valuable. So it's very simple. It's predominantly filled with other practitioners that are on the same mission, and you can sign up. It's very simple, and then you can share your link or your code with whoever, whichever patients or clients or even friends and family that would benefit from this. And we've got menus in there, like 7-day menus based on different dietary requirements. We've got, as you saw before, the Good Mood Food Guide and the Prebiotic Manual, and you've also got currently the Daily Uplifter if people would like to order the powder, where you can then receive some cash back for when you direct people to purchase the products.
Great. I just subscribed for those of you watching. That's also my email, so thank you. Okay, perfect. So on to page 2, because I'm excited about this. I've had the opportunity to taste some goodies that you guys haven't been able to try. So tell us a little. They're sold out right now, coming soon to groceries and convenience stores and lunch boxes everywhere. Tell us a little bit about these Gut Happy cookies.
So these have been a passion of mine, trying to get this to bring this to life. I wanted to create prebiotic snacks that were really easy for people to enjoy and grab and go. And there was just so many products popping up on the market that, as I was sort of speaking about before, they throw in one type of prebiotic syrup and they claim that they're a prebiotic snack, but then they're sort of filled with a lot of other artificial junk that would not be beneficial for our health or for our gut health. And so I basically, taking all my knowledge of needing a diverse array of prebiotics and needing specific types of probiotics when it comes to food products in order for them to be effective and reach your gut, I developed these Gut Happy cookies. Obviously, as I said at the beginning, the goal is to get people to be their happier selves via the consumption of prebiotics. And what we've developed here is grab and go packs of 4 sandwich cream cookies that are all 100% plant-based and organic, and they're low sugar. We've had them tested for fibers actually, and they come up significantly higher than we're currently actually even claiming on the packet. You actually get up at about 12 grams of fiber per packet. So I was very pleased to see that, because I did expect that based on the ingredients. So the number one ingredient, which makes up almost 50% of the entire cookie, is made actually from a legume, from that lupini bean I spoke about earlier on. So that's a soluble prebiotic fiber ingredient. And then you also have 4 other types of prebiotics in there, including resistant starches and some flavonoids, which are another more emerging prebiotic from kiwi fruit powder. And then they're sort of blended together. It's in different flavors. There's a salted almond butter with vanilla and hemp seeds. There's a salted peanut butter with chocolate and coconut, and then we've got a nut-free version made with sunflower butter with vanilla and chia seeds. So I'm very excited.
And I speak from personal experience. There were about 12 of us dietitians that were having cookies, and we were sitting there, and one of the things, and I will say this as a bias, it's not a bias, it's just my personal flavor profile. I tend to not like things that are sweet, but I do love a sandwich cookie. But one of the things that I found really extra appealing about this was, one cookie was extremely satisfying. Now, I definitely had more than one, but I feel like what you've done with the flavor profile, and I think also some of it is the texture differential in there that really has it feel satisfying. This coming from, a girl that easily threw back like a whole package of snack rolls at one point trying to find something to taste good. So I feel like it's a real win on that part. I think our clients are going to love it. And that is a great segue into the recipe piece because one, the cookies are coming, but the other part is what we can do with this daily uplifter. You've got these just incredible recipes on here.
Mm-hmm. Thanks. Yeah. So we've developed so many different recipes so that it was easy for people to think about what they could make that they would enjoy. I know that you can just mix it with some almond milk, or for those that want regular milk, with regular milk, and just have it as a drink. It's a vanilla flavored powder. But my goal was to get people to eat all-encompassing healthy meals and snacks. And so by showing you how you could be creative with it, it has allowed people to benefit and enjoy, I hope, and enjoy the entire meal. So, as you scroll down, you can actually see a lot of recipes that other people have created. So, I developed the first few, and then as time's gone on, the consumer has developed the rest of them. So you can make lots of different things. And I guess all I would say is that when it comes to any of the baked recipes or the pancake recipes, the soluble prebiotic fibers from the Daily Uplifter will still be in there, but the resistant starch from the green banana flour, as I mentioned earlier, will likely go. So if you want to reap all the benefits, then I recommend going for anything that is uncooked. But if you want to still reap, many of the benefits, you'll still get the prebiotic fibers in two different forms, and you'll still get, there's things like magnesium from pumpkin seeds and high vitamin D mushrooms that give you quite a lot of your vitamin D requirements. So you still reap all those benefits when you cook with it. So, whichever recipes entice you, I would encourage to make.
Yeah. And you can't see, but as promised in the promotion, and also just because I am cruise directing here, we are stuck on fudgy chocolate prebiotic and probiotic brownie bites, which I'm just sitting here going, oh, I'm out of my uplifter, and that needs to change because and you guys, one of the thoughts on this part too is really to think holiday focus. I mean, these would be phenomenal as options to be sharing during the holidays. So that people are filling up on goodness, which will make their moods better, which will make everyone have better holidays. So, Kara, I think, let me just see if anyone else has any other questions. I'm going to pop back over. I feel like I got to all the questions. Was there anything else that you wanted to chat about that we didn't cover via the website, or just what you're up to?
Oh, I think we've covered a lot of it. I obviously am more than happy to answer any more questions, though. I think what is probably the only thing that hasn't been mentioned, you've mentioned a few times in terms of like feeling full from the cookies, and maybe one thing that's worth pointing out is that outside of all the gut health benefits, the prebiotic fibers and resistant starches particularly, they are shown to help with satiety and help you feel fuller. And especially when you combine them with a little bit of protein and some healthy fats, which is what we do at Uplift Food in all the recipes that are developed, you end up with a particularly satisfying snack. So if you've got clients that might not jump on board because they just they haven't wrapped their head around the benefits from a gut health perspective, if you can help them, say you can eat these chocolate brownies and feel really full for the afternoon, then that might be, another way in to help them still reap the benefits for gut health.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I told you I have an idea. For me, I'm going to make these, and I'm going to throw Brooke's Daily Habit CBD in there, and it's going to be a total win for digestion and for mood, and happiness abounds. I just wish that when I was 15, we had this. So that's actually something I want to close with too, just in terms of thinking about your patients that are younger. Obviously, the connection between gut health and skin, and gut health and hormones, and gut health and mood. So important. So also, great to talk to parents about their integrating this in for their kids. I think would just be a great, and so many of these recipes are crowd pleasers at any age. So Kara, awesome. Thank you so much. Did I catch, were you saying, go ahead, you were saying something? Yeah.
No, perfect. I've enjoyed being here and talking with you all.
Great. And what I'm going to do, everyone, is Kara will be in the group, able to answer any questions. I'll also be sharing this link in case you want to share it with anybody else. And if you have, if you're working on programs, if you're doing a digestive tune-up by chance, any of these things, please reach out to her because she has so many tools that can really help you grow and optimize what you're currently doing and make it deliciously easy for your clients and for your patients. So thank you, Kara, and we'll see everybody next week. Take care. Oh, and I totally forgot, if you're still listening and you didn't say goodbye, there are a few of you that are still on here, Fancy. We will be at Fancy, so that's going to be a great opportunity to connect, and I'll promote that in the group as well, so I don't have to worry about those that dropped off. Okay, that's it. Bye-bye.